friends, welcome back to the Girly Mind. I know it has been a while. I know, I apologize. I really apologize, but today's topic is gonna be worth it. I'm just gonna sit down here and cozy up with you guys with my blankets. I'm filming in front of the window. It is currently 1 o'clock today in Canada, and it is 2 degrees in Ontario where I stay. They are doing a construction over here in the next apartment, so if you hear slamming of hammers and all of that, I really apologize. But I'm just gonna bring you guys a bit closer to me so that my voice can quickly and easily project into the camera. Here are things that I'm so happy that I did in my 20s, and if I have a younger sister, of course I have a younger sister, but she's now in her late 20s. Here are things that I would advise her to do in her late 20s. And I have my notes here because I don't want to skip a single thing. Number one, my dear sister, I want you to live alone. If you're currently 22, 23, 24, 25, I want you to live alone. I know it might not be easy putting all that money together, choosing the area to stay, but can I be honest with you? Some of the most important decisions that I have made with my YouTube channel, with my job, quitting and resigning when I want to, saying I'm no longer interested in a relationship and just saying, okay, I'm done, walking away. I would not have been able to do it if I didn't start practicing a form of independence. Now, living alone is just going to help you to put your life together. You're going to get your act together really fast. Now, am I saying just go on a whim, leave your house, no backup, no money saved up? No. I'm saying do it the right way. Put your money together. Check a house that you're going to stay in. Choose a particular area and start to build your life from there. The reason why I'm asking you to live alone is because, number two, it is important that you are able to make strategic financial decisions as a single person without any external input or advice from parents or from guardians and all of that. Now, am I saying that their advice is useless or it's not going to be good advice? No. I'm just saying that you need to know that your parents are going to be... do I have a... Who's there? Okay, my bad. I guess that's my neighbor. You need to know that your parents are going to project a form of perspective and input into your life that might not really be in alignment with where you are going. And it's not going to be because they don't have your best intentions or desires at heart. It's because they don't know. That is the limit of their knowledge. Do you guys know that when I started my social media career, I didn't tell my dad that I had an Instagram page, that I had a TikTok, that I started a YouTube, that I quit my job, because for them, it did not make any sense for you to leave your job, something that is stable, to venture into the unknown and to pursue a career in something that you don't know if it's going to be here in the next 5 years. But guess what? Jumping into that unknown because God asked me to do it and because I believed in myself actually helped me out in the long run. I started my career just like that, and then I've been figuring out a lot of things on the road by myself on the way. And now, just about a month ago or before I left Nigeria, my dad was telling me how proud he was of me and how he's so happy with the decisions that I've made with my life and all of that. Do you really think that that would have happened if I was still living in their house, subjecting myself to all of their decisions all the time? No. I want you to go on spiritual retreats in your 20s. I want you to begin to learn how to know God for yourself. Some of you are 23, 24, 25. You don't know how God speaks to you. You've not read a complete book of the Bible. You don't have a devotional plan, a spiritual diet that you're on. You don't have a day of the week where you're just going to be like, today I'm going to worship, I'm going to pray, I'm going to close my doors, I'm going to limit my social media involvement, and I'm just going to focus on God today. You've not learned how to practice those times in your life. Do you know that it is in your 20s that you're going to build up habits that will carry you very late into the later years of your life? If you don't know how to hear God now, are you going to learn when you're 35, when you're 40, No. Or when you're married and you're joined to a man that honestly he is also going to be on his own personal journey with God. By that time, it will be quarter to late. I'm telling you. Now is the time when you're still single in your 20s to go on spiritual retreats, to go and visit friends, go to Lagos, go to places, go on vacation, spend time with yourself. Take a pen and a paper, journal what you want your life to look like, design it prayerfully with fasting and prayer. Hear what God is saying about your different friends. Like, this is the best time of your life. But it's just so alarming that a lot of people, because of social media alignments and Instagram reels and all of that, you are focusing on the highlights of someone else's life and you're not focusing on what you should be investing in now. You've forgotten that your single years are for a very short period of time. Before you close your eyes and open it, you're already in your husband's house. Before you close your eyes, you're celebrating 2 years in marriage. You have 3 kids, and that's it. That is it. So whatsoever you're able to put into your 20s, such as investing in your spiritual walk with God, it is going to carry you very, very late in life, and even with every single challenge that you have. And this next point is this. I want you to marry late into your 20s. I know. I know. A lot of people are not going to agree with me. I want you to marry late into your 20s. Sis, take your time. I'm telling you, the moment you're married, you can wave your single years goodbye. I did a series on TikTok where I talked about the things that they didn't tell us about getting married. I'm just going to share maybe like 2 with you. Number 1, see, when it comes to sexual intercourse, sexual practices, like being intimate with your partner, once you're married, there is no such thing as I'm not in the mood. Well, hey, God. There's no such thing as that. Once a man comes to you and he says he's feeling you, he wants to touch you, it is time to serve, because that is your godly duty as a wife. I'm telling you, so now that you're single, you don't have any children running after you for nurturing, you don't have any man at your beck and call saying, let's do. Take your time. Take your time to court. Take your time to go on dates. Take your time to smell the roses. Take your time to enjoy those days that are boring. And yeah, all my friends are married, this, that. They're not going to tell you that in their marriage, whether they like it or not, they have to cook every day. Once you are married, you have to cook every day. That is why in your 20s, you have to make sure that you have spent all that time for good things, investing in yourself, because you are your best investment. Don't be in a hurry to rush into your husband's Don't do that to yourself. Take your time. You get, as far as you have secured or God has sent you a good man that loves you, that takes care of you, that you know you see a future with, that knows where he's going, you people should take your time. Don't start engaging in fornication really quickly. That will then lead to you have to quickly marry him because you are pregnant. Don't do that. You're going to look back at your 20s and you're going to miss them terribly. I remember I was telling my husband, was it last week or so, I said that, you know what, I actually miss when I was still single and I could keep provisions. Like, I took my own 20s, I enjoyed it to the best of my ability. I had like a corner in my house in my 20s where I would just put provisions. I will wake up at odd hours in the night to snack up, to do what I want to do. But now that I'm married, this morning, I have marinated chicken. I've prepared breakfast. I've done my makeup. I've checked on my husband. See, I have packages coming in. There's work at my beck and call. I have parents that depend on me. Now I also have extended family from my husband's side. You see, your life is going to just keep expanding like this. So now that you're single and it's still small, don't be in a hurry to get out of it. This one is just line in line and hand in hand with what I've been saying all this while. And that is to give yourself expensive treats, okay, and to practice what I like to call healthy selfishness. Give yourself expensive treats and learn how to practice a healthy form of selfishness now that you are still in your 20s, now that you are still single, now that you don't have anybody at your beck and call. The reason why this is so important is because once you marry like this, if you don't have well-defined boundaries while you were single. You will never have any boundary when you're married. Now, for example, I'm going to use myself as an example. When I was dating my husband knows that I like to have days in the week that I take time out for myself. That day in the week, I'm not going to be at my phone replying messages. I'm gonna maybe be at the salon, getting my hair done, pedicure, doing something, pouring back into myself, booking a massage or something. It's a day that I take for myself to invest into my mental health, to invest into my physical health, to invest into my aesthetics as a woman. I've seen a lot of women comment on my page and say, oh, don't worry, once you marry, you will not be able to do that. It's a lie, because it's a habit that you carry into every phase of your life. But if you've not defined it, if you've not defined what healthy selfishness means to you, what expensive treats mean to you, you will not be able to carry it into marriage, into other phases of your life, like becoming a mom, becoming a wife, becoming someone's daughter-in-law. You will not be able to manage those roles properly without you yourself suffering in the process. The issue is we have a lot of moms who are complaining that they don't like their lives. We have a lot of wives who are complaining that they are always tired and exhausted. They've not learned how to ask for personal time. They've not learned how to say no. They've not learned how to practice healthy boundaries. I'm telling you these things because it is so important that you work on it now in your 20s, now that you're still single. Don't be in a hurry. See, the moment no matter the scale of your wedding, no matter the number of weeks you used to plan your wedding, months you used to plan your wedding, the moment you say, yes, I do, and you carry that man's surname, your single days are over. So goodbye, don't cry and smile. It is gone. I'm telling you, it is gone. That is why you need to make sure that they are accounting for something now. Now is not the time to be full of regrets, to be comparing yourself to other people. You don't know what they are going through. Your friend is 25, she already has 2 kids. You are 25, you are still trying to figure your life out. Enjoy it. That is our own journey. This is your own journey. And I'm here to help you with all the things that I've said now, to help you to maximize and to make the most of this time that you have now. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and you found it incredibly helpful. The reason why I am filming is because my husband has gone to work. I told you, girl, he has gone to work. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. Comment down below what your thoughts are about this topic today. Let me know how you are getting your life together, getting your act right, even though you are single, you're in your 20s. And let me just know what you are doing for fun or for investment. Let me know what you are doing to invest into yourself in your 20s. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, I'm going to see you in the very next one. Bye.